by Colby Platt and Omar Najim. And guys, we got to talk about UNT football because 4-0, baby. It's been insane. I don't know. This was a game against Army where you go in, you know you can win it, but you suffered a tough loss to Army last year. Haven't beat them since 2017. I was at that game, legacy game. That was a really good one. But here you go into West Point, and it started off really strong. They at one point were up 28-7. Then Army kind of started coming back, but in the end, UNT makes it happen. Colby, tell me, what did you see from that game?
I mean, I saw a very strong offensive performance from UNT as we take a look at some highlights from the game here. As you said, we're leading 28-7 at half, and then in the second half, we get outscored 24-10. It was a great offensive game and great defensive game to start out with, but unfortunately, once they put in their backup quarterback, it looks like we just started to crumble. Our defense had 3 turnovers, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 there, and then 1 interception. And our rushing game was unstoppable. Mackenzie McGill, 19 carries, 101 yards, a touchdown. And then Caleb Hawkins, career legacy game, 13 carries, 99 yards, 4 touchdowns. He is the American Offensive Player of the Week. And I just think, overall, this offense is it's shining. Eric Morris is doing a great job with Drew Mestemaker and this entire offense. 8 different players had at least 1 reception this game. So we're not only just relying on one player on the receiving core or on the running back core, we're relying on everybody. We are really stretching out this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw Mackenzie McGill punch that in for a touchdown, and then now another UNT turnover. The defense forcing fumbles once again, and then offensively, you talked about it. The running back duo of Mackenzie McGill and Caleb Hawkins combined for 200 yards and 5 touchdowns together. I mean, that is insane level production. Omar, what did you see from them, and how are they really carrying this offense on the ground?
Yeah, they're so explosive. Last year when Army beat UNT 14-3, we just never could get the ball down the field or time of possession. And we had 27 minutes of time of possession, which was phenomenal for UNT. And for us to just be able to, again, as Colby added, 200 rushing yards from the dynamic duo running backs, I think that is amazing. When you have 2 of your running backs throwing for 200 rushing yards, most of the time you win the game. And they also won the turnover battle, which I think was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Caleb Hawkins, machine. Punched in 4 out of those 5 rushing touchdowns. What they've been able to do on the ground is amazing. And then Drew Mestemaker, only 1 touchdown. The box score doesn't look crazy, but he's just kept it well balanced. I don't think he's thrown an interception all year long. Am I right, guys? What he's been able to do is not only step into this role, but take it with, I don't even know how to take it by the reins, but it's been incredible what he's done through the air and on the ground. Colby, how has that balance really helped UNT?
Mestemaker stepped in and just immediately just become a leader. And that's not a quality you get out of any quarterback in the league. Mestemaker, obviously a redshirt freshman, started 1 game in high school and has no offers, no stars, and comes in and just is leading us to a 4-0 start to the season. I think that just speaks volumes to the kind of leadership he has in himself. But much like Omar said, what I think is key is when we're getting to the red zone, we're actually finishing in the red zone, and we are scoring on each drive to the red zone. Last year versus Army, we had 3 red zone interceptions, which cost us each time, and we had a chance to win that game. But just those turnovers in the red zone is what cost us that game. So seeing this season us actually getting to the red zone and then finishing on those drives is amazing. And Drew Mestemaker is not only just the main story of this team, but the whole team as a whole is a story in itself. 68 newcomers this season. That's the 2nd most in FBS, right behind Utah State. And 42 of those 68 newcomers are transfers. That's also 2nd most, right behind New Mexico. So not only is Mestemaker leading this team of newcomers and has a story of his own, but he's leading the story of North Texas, and that's why we're starting to gain more traction in college football.
Yep, definitely. Mestemaker, 249 yards and a touchdown. McGill had 101 and a touchdown. Caleb Hawkins had 99 with 4 touchdowns, including that game winner we saw at the very end. And Miles Coleman, another solid game, 8 receptions for 74 yards. Hawkins, I want to talk through a little bit of the end of that game because it was wild. You're up in control, and then Army crawled their way back. They found a way to get back in it. It was a costly fumble. That was the one mistake of the running backs where you could have put it away. Instead, they get it. But the defense did make a stand because they got close, and man, I was afraid they were going to get a touchdown and just win it right there in regulation. In the end, they get the stand, forces overtime, and then you go straight down the field with Caleb Hawkins, punches it in, and then you get a stop on defense. Colby, walk me through that defensive stand.
I think the defensive stand was absolutely amazing. I think that defensive stand only happens when Dwayne Coleman comes out of the game. when he came out of the game and Cale Helms comes back in the game, we win that game. I mean, Cale Helms, his entire game, 0 for 2, 0 yards passing, 9 carries for 23 yards, obviously a fumble and an interception. So when Dwayne Coleman comes into this game, that's when our defense starts to crumble. In the middle of the second quarter, Dwayne Coleman comes in, and for some reason, he's just the second coming of Jalen Hurts. He's running the ball immediately when he gets the snap, and our defense just doesn't seem to have an answer for some reason. So when Dwayne Coleman gets hurt on their overtime drive and Helms has to come back into the game, our defense immediately, I feel like they got a surge of like, oh, well, we've been shutting this guy down for the first quarter and the second quarter, so now we can win this game again.
Yeah, and they did. They did win that game. It was incredible what the defense was able to do at the end. Omar, walk me through a little bit what was going through your mind during that comeback. It's like, man, we can't lose this one, right? How was the defense able to lock in? Like he said, the injury might have helped a little bit, but how were they able to really close out this game when it mattered most?
Yeah, I think they played great through adversity, I guess. You know, both defenses were honestly getting dominated. Mm-hmm. There was no defense this game. So I think just to hold it after a costly fumble and being able to stand and just be able to make it happen and be able to go to overtime and not let Army score a touchdown there was huge. And it was definitely scary. You know, it kind of reminded me of some of the UNT games where we would be up and then just have something costly and we lose somehow. So that was great. I think that's adversity will carry on throughout the season. And I think wins like that will help us throughout the season.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I want to zoom out just a little bit because, guys, UNT is 4-0. We know that. That's pretty good. One of the best starts they've had in quite a while. But if you guys didn't know, we received 2 votes in the AP Top 25 poll this week. For the first time since 2018, North Texas has received votes. UNT has not been ranked in the top 25 since 1959. So UNT, chance for history if they can keep putting together some wins. Colby, do you think UNT could be ranked this season?
I'll say it. We should have been ranked this week.
All right.
We should have been ranked this week. They keep sleeping on us and keep sleeping on us. That is what feeds the beast. No, but a chance to go 5-0 when we play South Alabama this Saturday. Mm-hmm. Chance to go 5-0 for the first time since 1977. And, I mean, this conference, too. I mean, we're not in an easy conference, I would say. We're in a tough conference, so the fact that we're competing is huge. But, I mean, obviously, Memphis is doing good. You got Navy and South Florida. I think those are our 2 key games, South Florida and Navy at home. But to be honest, every game from here on out is a key game. Mm-hmm. As soon as we lose one game, we're not going to receive any more votes. As soon as that one hits the loss column, we're done for. So I think if we just continue to just play our game, don't let anyone intimidate us, I think if we play our game correctly, we could see us ranked.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't expect it to happen this week. I did expect those votes, and I was so hyped when I saw it. But I believe that you can keep going. You said South Alabama this Saturday at 11. Hey, be there if you're a student. Omar, do you think that UNT can really find a way to get in the top 25 this year?
I believe so. We just need to also win games, just like how the last week they beat Washington State 59-10. Yep. If we can just keep it going and win games that we should win dominantly. Army was it's really hard. Army's a great football team, and they run the ball so well. So I think if we could just win convincingly and win the important games like Navy, and then maybe if we can make it all the way to the final, play Memphis, that'll be pretty good if that lines up. So if UNT, if they ranked, I would be the happiest person alive. I could not believe that. So it's exciting football for UNT.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. And UNT, just before we go, has an 11% chance, according to ESPN, to make the college football playoffs as that 12 seed. So, hey, 3rd best odds in the nation. The American might be representing. We'll have to see. But when we move on, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys right after this break.
My name is Amanda Hasbell, and I'm joining you here today in the Union Parking Garage. Today we're going to be going over how to drive safely in the parking garage. Let's go see. Oh my God! Oh my God! This girl just got hit by a car. Let's go see what happened. Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay?
Did you see that lady hit me with a car?
Yeah, we did. I got it all on video.
Oh my God.
Let's go over here and talk about how we can prevent that.
Yeah, not the hospital.
Well, right now we're going to ask you a couple questions on how we can drive safely in the parking lot. What are ways that we can be aware of our surroundings?
Oh, we can look both ways.
Jenna, also, how about putting the distractions away?
Yes, just like our phones, turning our music down, and also not focusing on our passengers.
Where can you get information on how to get a parking pass?
Transportation.unt.edu.
If you park in a garage, make sure you pay on the app or look for further instructions on how you should pay.
And remember, no pass, no park. Let's all try to keep our mean green community safe.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Drive safe.
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DATQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DATQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DATQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.datq.org to learn more. DATQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm joined by Zeke Rios and Cooper Lyday, and we're going to talk some Dallas Cowboys. All right, we just got finished with UNT, and it was a great game for them. For the Cowboys, not so much. They got punched in the mouth. 31-14 loss to the Chicago Bears. The Bears, guys?
Yeah.
It was disappointing, especially after all the excitement, the roller coaster of their season opener, or home opener, should I say, against the Giants. They really just didn't look the same against Chicago, and there was a lot of reasons. We're going to get into it. But Zeke, overall, what'd you take from this game for Dallas?
Disappointing.
Yeah.
It was very disappointing. It ruined my weekend. The only thing that helped it get better was my younger brother's birthday. Shout out Seabass.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the defense was a total mess. I was just very disappointed and just so many mistakes. And they just let the Bears get off early, and they just kept on building off the momentum. CeeDee Lamb was injured. The Bears, honestly, they just put the Cowboys on a leash and took them for a walk. It was sad to see.
Yeah, just looking through these highlights, we saw that flea flicker to Luther Burden. I mean, just exploiting the zone defense of the Dallas Cowboys. This is kind of the one highlight of the game. Dak rolls out, finds George Pickens, a cool one-handed catch, and that's just about where it ended for the Cowboys, actually, exactly where it ended. They got the two-point conversion, and then Dallas did not score again. You mentioned CeeDee Lamb getting hurt. That definitely hurt for the team because, I don't know, you just lose that weapon, and Jake Ferguson, Jalen Tolbert got that one right there, stepped up. But it wasn't the same without CeeDee. Cooper, how impactful is that injury? Now that we know he could miss a few additional games, how do you think Dallas can adjust?
Definitely, the loss of CeeDee Lamb definitely is it's a tough one. However, I believe that they'll be able to bounce back pretty solidly because the Cowboys have been known in the past when their back is against the wall, they can adapt and go towards their backup regarding Cooper Rush a couple of years ago, or even just their lineup of running backs in the past couple of years. I think they can be able to adapt while these next couple 4 to 5 weeks while CeeDee Lamb is out.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. Cole Kmet, another one for the Bears. And as we just keep watching through these highlights, I think you guys can see wide open everywhere. Look at that. Absolutely no one around DJ Moore. In the center of the end zone, he's under the goalpost, and there's just no one there. And we've talked about it in the past few weeks. The Cowboys have loved playing zone coverage. Here, another interception. That we won't even talk about it. Zone coverage has been exclusively what the Cowboys have ran through 3 weeks of the season. Unlike any other team, typically you mix up man and zone, some cover 3, whatever it is. No, the Cowboys have been exclusively cover 3 zone, and Bears, Giants, they were able to exploit it. Zeke, how do the Cowboys make adjustments to the defense to where you don't have wide open receivers all over the field?
It comes down to just better communication. They have no communication. Everyone's confused and everyone looks lost out there. I knew that the Bears head coach was going to watch that New York Giants game, and he was just going to throw verticals, deep balls, and it was just really annoying to see. And the Cowboys did have some success running the ball. I think Williams did a really good job. And
76 yards for him.
Yeah, right. Like he had 7.6 yards per carry. Like he was doing really good stuff. And I think the problem was that the Bears stopped them from running the ball after they just started slipping. And it was just sad.
Yeah, Javonte Williams has had a really solid season so far. Outside of that one fumble where they literally ripped the ball out of his hands, pretty solid game for him. But I don't think the offense was the problem. Obviously, you want to score more than 14. That's all right. But when you allow 31 to a team like that, you're not going to win these type of games. And especially Dak Prescott, you look at the box score, it's not thrilling. You see 2 interceptions to 1 touchdown. It's like, ugh. I wouldn't say that game was on him. One of those interceptions, literally off the hands of George Pickens. That other one was kind of garbage time. Cooper, I'll go to you. Looking at the offense as a whole, do you think that they're really the issue here, or do you think it's really the defense?
Honestly, although the Cowboys did have some silly mistakes with dropping ball or bouncing off the hands and just throwing bad picks, I do believe it's on the defense at least this time around. just them continuing to get beat by, especially in their secondary. And although their run defense wasn't too bad, their linebackers weren't playing amazing. And I just think they just need to work on just not letting those big plays get away from them.
Yeah, and Brian Schottenheimer talked about it after the game, that it's these big plays, exactly like you said, that are killing us. And he said that there would be some schematic changes. I certainly hope so, because what the Cowboys have been running has just not worked. Because not only has your coverage and your secondary been struggling, we've seen that be very apparent. Trayvon Diggs early in those highlights slipped on one of those routes, and it was an easy touchdown. But outside of that, the pass rush has been non-existent. We knew once Micah got traded that it wasn't going to be great, but the Cowboys did not get a single sack last week. And not only is that rough for the Cowboys, looking at Caleb Williams' career and that Bears offensive line, there's not been a single game throughout his entire NFL career where he has not taken a sack until last Sunday. It had been since USC where he had not been on the ground at some point. Cowboys can't generate pressure, and their secondary can't cover. That's a bad combination. Zeke, what needs to change defensively?
Honestly, you have to. It's so hard to say because we just need players that can make the plays. I mean, once we got rid of Micah, I just knew we were in for some trouble. We need players that can make the plays. The Cowboys aren't going to get rid of. They're not going to get rid of their defensive coordinator because they've never ever done it during the season. And even if you do get rid of him, it really won't make much of a difference if you don't have the right people to put in the game. I mean, we're about to play the Packers, and that's scary. We're not the Browns. We don't have Myles Garrett. I wish we did, but we just don't. We don't.
Yeah, and that's the story, guys, because just coming up this weekend, Sunday Night Football, it's the Micah Parsons reunion. We talked about it, how much we missed him, and we will be taking on the Packers Sunday Night Football. The Cowboys dropped to 1-2 after this game. Cooper, you go in now, back at home, but you're facing Green Bay, who, outside of last weekend, has looked really strong. What do you think Dallas's approach is going into this game, and how do they find a way to get a win against Micah and the Packers?
Honestly, they just need to focus, like we've been previously talking about, just avoiding those silly turnovers, not just letting them just rip out the ball and not throwing these silly interceptions. I think they definitely need to work on that, and also I think Dak needed to make sure he needs to get that ball out, especially with injured to rookie right guard Tyler Booker.
Yes.
Especially that pass protection is going to be even worse than it already is. So they need to make sure to avoid Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Cooper Beebe went down previously, and then Tyler Booker went down last week. So now that's already two backups on the offensive line. In addition to CeeDee Lamb, high ankle sprain, expected to be out 2 to 4 weeks. Zeke, you're already shorthanded defensively for reasons we've already talked about. Now the offense is suffering some losses. How do they make up for this against Green Bay?
Honestly, you just got to trust your guys. It's time for Pickens and Tolbert to rise to the occasion. This is their chance. And honestly, you just have to let Dak work. He's been playing so good this season, and it's so frustrating to see that he's finally locked in and the team's not. It's always one or the other, and it's just so frustrating. But yeah, you just have to let Dak work, get open, and just have good schemes. No more of these silly schemes that they're doing.
Yeah, you got to do more than just pure zone. I think that's the story. But yeah, Dak has been really, really good this season. I mean, he's been throwing darts everywhere. His accuracy has been really, really strong. I think the box scores, really don't reflect the type of season he's had thus far. But obviously, CeeDee's out. The offensive line is lowered. Cooper, who do you think needs to step up the most for the Cowboys?
Honestly, who I think needs to step up is honestly our recent acquisition of George Pickens, because he's proven in the Bears game, one-handed catch. He's making the plays, and I just think he needs to just step in that wide receiver 1 position, and I think just hopefully lead this offense with Dak and Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I agree. This is his chance to be wide receiver 1, so we'll have to see. Jake Ferguson, another really solid, I think, kind of safety option. He had 12 receptions last week, I think? It was something very high. He's really been very reliable for you. But guys, the biggest story, of course, is Micah Parsons' homecoming. Jerry talked about it. There's not going to be a tribute video. He said this isn't Emmett, so okay, we'll say what you want. But end of the day, Micah Parsons comes home, and the offensive line is already struggling or injured. How do the Cowboys match up against Micah Parsons, and what kind of game do you think Micah has, Zeke?
Micah he's ready. He told the Associated Press that it's going to be painful when he has to sack Dak. I mean, but Dak has been moving pretty well in the pocket, so I'm kind of excited to see that matchup, see if he can manage to run past Micah. But he's going to have, my guess is it's going to be double-digit pressures. It's just going to be, Micah's going to have fun out there, and he's trying to downplay this, but hopefully the pressure's on him a little bit and he's feeling a little nervous.
Yeah, we'll see. Micah, only a sack and a half so far this season. Cooper, do you think he adds on to that on Sunday?
Honestly, yeah. With the injuries to our offensive line, I think he's going to have a field day with that O-line. And he might have Dak scrambling all night.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. It's going to be an interesting homecoming for Micah. But when we come back, we're going to go home and talk about some UNT volleyball.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for a delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion. Quench your thirst with our wide selection of drinks. Just hand your drinking card to our friendly waiter, and they'll bring your beverage of choice right to your table. When you're done savoring every last bite, our attentive staff will whisk away your tray. Enjoy the peaceful ambiance as you dine in, or use our takeout option for a meal on the go. Avesta.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm your host, Steven Lucero, and next we're going to talk about some UNT volleyball. They've gotten off to an impressive 10-2 start to the 2025 season, and joining me to talk about it, Jay Del Mireles and Nick Volpetti. Guys, UNT volleyball, it's been exciting. It's been, a different, brand new system for them in terms of new coach, a lot of new players, a lot of new, but it's been very good. Nick, what have you seen from UNT so far?
It's been a great start to the season. I mean, it's been about as good as you could possibly hope for. They're on a 7-match winning streak. Reagan Bedell, she's been one of the best players. She leads the team in kills with 162. Alexa Washington and Sydney Story have done a great job in the assist category as well. So it's been a collective effort. I like that it hasn't been one player like stealing the show and doing it all, because it makes for a good team effort, and it means you can win on any given match whenever you have a host of players who can step up in the big moments. And I think that's one of the main reasons why the Mean Green are off to this 7-2 start.
Yeah, definitely. It's been very impressive, and they're on a win streak. Jadel, what have you seen from UNT so far, and how do you think they can keep this momentum going, especially with conference play coming up?
Absolutely. I would agree that Bedell has been really great. And shout out also to Fawanji for winning Texan Classic MVP. That's a very great deal. She's a blocking queen. And also Dakota Mitchell. She's also great at defense, and she's a digging queen as well. And Nick and I both love watching digs. That's really what keeps the game going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And UNT, they came off sweeping Tarleton State 3-0 in that series, and they won actually all of their matches in the Texan Classic out there in Stephenville. It was very impressive what they were able to do, especially in that last sort of classic pre-tournament before you get into conference play. Nick, what did you see from them overall at the Texan Classic, and some more of your best players and moments?
It was a dominant performance, like you said. I mean, the best you can hope for is to win every game, and that's exactly what they did. That match against Tarleton State, I mean, if you look at just like the final score, you think they dominated them. It was a bit close. They won the first set 26-24, second one 25-23, and the third one 25-22. So I think it shows a lot about the team that when they have those close sets, they can come out on top, because throughout the season, especially in conference play, when you face some better opponents, you're going to have a lot of close sets. There's going to be a lot of times when you are in that set when it goes past 25, and you got to take advantage of those match point opportunities, and they've done a great job of that. Alexa Washington, she had 25 assists in that matchup against Tarleton State. They had a .270 hitting percentage. For those of you who aren't as well versed in volleyball stats, that is very good hitting percentage. So yeah, it was a great job against Tarleton State, and hopefully they can carry that into conference play. Yeah,
like you said, it was some great matchups. It was certainly tight at times, but they found a way to win every time. And when you do that, that's just about all you can ask for. Jadel, what did you see from them against Tarleton and throughout that classic?
Yeah, I would, like I mentioned, a lot of great players, and I would also like to add that Washington has been amazing, and she's played a crucial role. It takes a lot of good, like, game IQ to be able to accomplish her with the assists. Assists don't get enough credit sometimes in this game, but yeah, like I mentioned, Dakota Mitchell has been a defensive powerhouse. On top of Diggs, though, she's also been great at aces. I think with aces and also the great blocks, that's really what led them to sweep Tarleton.
Yeah, and it was some excellent games, but it was a little bit more meaningful than just a sweep because for Coach Dave Fleming, it was his 400th career win. And for Dave Fleming, this is his first year at UNT, so he spent 20 years out in Colorado. And now coming to the University of North Texas, Nick, what does he bring and how much does that 400th win mean?
It's got to mean a lot to him. I'm sure when he came into being a volleyball coach, he wasn't thinking about getting 400 wins. So it's a big accomplishment for him. And I think it's a really good hire by UNT. He did a great job at Colorado Mesa for those 20 years, finally getting an opportunity at a D1 school. And he's really turned the program around. Last year, they only went 3-8 in non-conference play, only 10-18 overall. So it's been an immediate change. They're immediately so much better than they were. I think it's looking to be a great hire, and hopefully it continues in the conference play as well.
Yep. Yes. So yeah, for Fleming, 390 and 184 is his career record. So a lot of experience. Jadel, what kind of experience does he bring to this team, and how do you think he can really make an impact throughout a long season?
Absolutely, yeah, 400 wins is a massive accomplishment. Whether it's D1 or D2, moving on from D1 to D2, it's already very challenging enough, but the fact that he was able to keep his dominance, that's what really cements his potential legacy as a coach. And the Mean Green community has welcomed him with open arms. If you saw on all the social media, they really tried their best to really honor him and celebrate him. And it's not easy leaving a school that you spent 20 years coaching, but we're very, very happy to have him here.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Coach Fleming, it seems like what he's been able to bring not only to this team but to his teams in the past is something more than just volleyball, something more than just on the court. What he's been able to do off the court, his presence as a motivator, as someone that can really not just get this team going during games, but really just be there as a leader. How much of an impact do you think that'll make for UNT, Nick?
I think it's great. I think there's no better leadership than winning games. It's a great way to build trust right off the bat. I mean, a lot of these players, I'm sure they didn't know Coach Fleming before this season, but now I'm sure they love him. I mean, when you start 10-2, especially for those players who were there last season for that 3-8 start, I'm sure it just builds that immediate confidence. That's something that's really important as a coach. Whenever you are joining a new program, it's important to build trust right away. And when you start a season 10-2, get off to a 7-match winning streak, I mean, it's a great way to build confidence and build trust.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, 7-match winning streak, pretty strong as we begin conference play. So this was kind of the, not preseason, but just pre-conference play for UNT Volleyball. And now they're going to open up this weekend against Charlotte. That's conference play, and this is where it really matters. So Jadel, going into this first match against Charlotte, what do you think UNT can do and take from the momentum they've built so far?
Yes, absolutely. So UNT thrives on momentum. A lot of their games were won by either sweeps early on or even late in the game. And we can really see that when they played against Louisiana Tech last week. And in that game, they were down 2-0 or 0-2, and they came right back and swept them in the last 3 sets. So I think, since they've already won so many games, I think they have a great edge against Charlotte. And also, they're ranked first along with Tulsa in the conference. They've both won 10 games to 2. So right now, I think they have a great chance of winning against Charlotte.
Yeah, certainly, and it should be strong. So for this, Nick, now this is conference play, obviously matters more than anything, but UNT, you can't sneeze at what they've done so far. This has really been important and key for the rest of the season. So how do you think they can use this momentum and take it not only into the game against Charlotte, but throughout the rest of the season?
I think that like you said, it's just like sort of the preseason and non-conference play, but it always helps to have positive momentum and to build confidence as a team. I mean, I think it's going to be a close race for the conference. I think anyone really could take it. Not necessarily anyone, but there's a lot of teams that could take it. I mean, Wichita State won it last season. Tulsa and Charlotte are off to a great start. I think it's going to be really close. I think that you could even see, like, as long as you can get into that top 8 and make the tournament, I think you got a chance. Like, as long as the Mean Green can get into that tournament, I think they have a good opportunity.
Yeah, certainly. Lots of competition, but you can't really ask for a better start from UNT. So it's going to be exciting to see what they can do. But for now, we're going to move on and talk about the Texas Rangers and how their season's going to an end.
And now we return to Fabric of Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. but you will be to someone else in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm joined by Josh Ortega and Mauricio Garcia. And guys, we got to talk about the Texas Rangers as their season is unfortunately coming to a close. Just 2 series left. They start their final one tonight against Minnesota. And when we were here last week, we were saying, all right, Texas, they're in this. Yeah. Maybe they can fight for that wild card, maybe even a divisional spot. And then, man, guys, a 7-game losing streak since then. I'm not sure if it's because we talked about it. Don't blame us. But, Josh, what have you seen from the Rangers in this last week?
It's just been bad. I mean, just get swept by the Astros, which is a tough team in baseball, but then by the Marlins. Sorry. Yep. Jeez, I mean, just rough to watch. Just not good baseball. Inconsistent offense. Just not good at all. The pitching's been good. It's been good all year, but this offense has just been something you just don't want to watch every single game.
Yeah, we're watching these highlights through the Astros series, and this was one where it's like, you control your own destiny. Yeah. This is you against Houston. They're in second place. You have a chance to overtake them for that wild card spot, maybe even push for the division. Instead, you get swept, and then you just get swept by Miami, and then it's all kind of gotten back to where we are right now, which is really on the fringe of elimination. Mauricio, what happened with the Rangers? Where'd they fall?
I mean, you can look up and down at this roster and be like, you have the names there, but like, why not? When we look into the IL list, you have these big names in the pitching staff: John Gray, Josh Sborz, Nathan Eovaldi, and Cody Bradford, who at the beginning of the season was like electric. You know, he was really setting the standard for the Rangers pitching. And then also with like key players, Simeon, Garcia being day-to-day, Seager, Sim Haggerty, and Carter. Like, these are like names that like should be on the roster, you know? But then like, we look at the resurgence that happened too with that 6-game winning streak we had, like with the Little Rascals. Like, where have they been? Yeah. Like, did they just get departed or something? Like, it's so it's so confusing to look at this offense and we just look at their offense as well. They're ranked 20th and they're ranked below 20th in runs, hits, and batting average. Right? Pitching, first in ERA, first in earned runs, and first in runs. Yeah. Like, it's so confusing to see this team, and especially with the stretch they're having, like what are they going to do now?
Yeah, it's rough, because I remember even back in the spring, the Rangers had gotten off to a start. It was just like, the pitching's great if the bats can just get going. And I remember week by week, month by month, it's like, now the bats are going to get going, and unfortunately, they just never did. Yeah. You know, we had, like you said, with the Little Rascals, we talked about that last week. It was a good stretch. Yeah. They found a way to kind of find a way, especially with all these injuries. But in the end, I think it just kind of proved that it was nice. It was like a Linsanity run in a way. But in the end of the day, this is the result. You just got swept by the Marlins, 79-77 at this point, and now you're just fighting for your life. You have a series against the Guardians. They're kind of in that last wild card spot right now. So it's like, in theory, if you win out, they lose out, maybe. But I think, end of the day, this week and maybe this month, should I say, has kind of been the epitome of the Rangers season. We've seen the ups, we've seen the downs, and at the end of the day, it feels like we're going to come up just short. Josh, where do the Rangers go from here?
I mean, at this point, you're looking for positives. You're looking for something to go into the offseason that marks away all the question marks, right? You're just, if anything, you're even thinking about if Bounchy's going to be back. Exactly. You know, there were so many rumors about him, whether or not he's going to come back. In June, there were talks about maybe he's going to go into retirement, and he should. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame coach. Look, he's proved everything in baseball. There's a lot of question marks around this team. really, if anything, you got to keep the pitches together. You got to see what the Little Rascals can do towards the end of the season. If they can fight for a couple roster spots towards the end of 2026, but really just answer all the question marks, play for pride, and try and beat that 0.1% chance of making the playoffs.
Yep, and hey, it's there. The Mavs won the lottery at 1 point something %. So hey, you're saying there's a chance, Mauricio? Is there a chance, or do you think this is the end?
I mean, you just have to hope Houston loses out and Boston loses out, and you're telling this to like two teams who are in a divisional spot or going for that wild card spot, and it's too much hope. We're like so much in like the percentage of like in like the single digits to make the playoffs. Even like we're like 0% to win the division. Like it's that bad, and I think we just got to look in the future. We got to look in the future. We have to look at our off-season hopes and all that. I'm really hoping Chris Young does wake up as a GM to be able to make some trades. You know, like towards the deadline this year, we've heard rumors about possibly a Simeon trade, which, look, people might get mad. I would not be mad if Simeon does get traded, okay? We do need some, like, depth in this roster because I cannot keep going, seeing this stat about him being in games, all right? What is he doing in these games to, like, be able to help that, you know?
Yeah, and both him and Garcia were both subject to trade rumors this past deadline. It didn't end up happening. You ended up acquiring Merrill Kelly and a few other relievers, Danny Coulombe, and oh man, I'm slipping on the last name. Guys, sorry about that. But they really tried to fight. Yeah. They tried to find a way to sneak into these playoffs, and I give them credit because CY is one that is always going to find a way to at least try to make those moves. But now going to the offseason, I'll ask you, Josh, what do you think the priority should be for Texas?
I think right now it's really spending all that money that you have. You have really around the top 10 not top 10, but around a good 10 amount of money. So like a couple million to spend with. It's fitting those pieces that you need. It's fixing this offense, and it's keeping this pitching group somewhat together. That's been the strength of this team. That's been really what you need to focus on the offseason, besides the hitting. But I'm going to ask you, Steven, do you think they move on from Adolis?
Oh, man. I don't think that initially – I don't know. I don't think that it's going to be like offseason starts and you trade him or unload him. I think that he starts the season as a Ranger. I think next trade deadline is really when we're going to have to look, see where the Rangers are at that point. But beyond players, you talked about Bruce Bochy. Contract is expiring this season. He's had a very turbulent 3 years here. Obviously starts off with championship. You win the World Series. Now it looks like you're going to miss the playoffs for the second straight year. Mauricio, I'll ask you, what is the future for Bochy in Texas?
I mean, just going up to what Josh said earlier, I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer for being a coach. I mean, it's one of those opportunities you don't get to see on in your coaching career. I mean, do we move on for Bruce Bochy? I feel like we could move on from him, but if Chris Young does see like a few more years ahead of him, then I'd say let's ride with Young, But if not, then we have to move on for Bochy. He has gave us like a World Series win, but in the abstract of it, we do have to like see what our other options are at this point.
Yeah, we're going to have to see because it's been interesting. Will Venable was your assistant manager for the last few years. It really felt like maybe he was going to be the one to take the reins. He was hired by the White Sox last season, so that option's kind of gone. Josh, if it's not Bochy, who would you like to see managing the Rangers?
I had two. I had Skip Shoemaker and Bobby Wilson. Yeah. I think those are two of just one of the guys that are on that list. It's so hard because Bochy's Bochy.
I know.
It's like replacing somebody like Belichick, right? And we see that with the Patriots now with Vrabel, but like. It's so hard. Skip and Bobby are probably two guys at the top of my list. If the Rangers are going to target anybody, it's those two.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Mauricio, anyone you have in mind, or do you think maybe Bochy says one more year?
I mean, he gave us a World Series, and I feel like he does do it for one more year. That's my honest opinion, trying to help the team as much as he can, but it's up in the air at this point for him.
Yeah, you hate to finish on that, but it's tough. And I want to go around the league just a little bit because we're approaching October now. The playoffs are almost here. I'll ask you guys, I'll start with you, Josh. What are some of your biggest threats around the league?
I think right now, I really like what the Phillies are doing. I think that for me, they're one of the best teams in baseball. I think the combination of health right now heading into October is really good. I think if they can hold on to that bye, it is a huge factor for them. They could get either one of the Dodgers or the Reds if they hold on to that bye, and they've had a really nice series with the Dodgers this season. So I'm looking at them. Their outfield platoon is really good. Their system is nice. It's helped them all year. I really like the Phillies in this offseason to kind of make a run.
Yeah, hey, we'll see. Not off season, but
well, not off season, not yet. Postseason.
We'll see. Already ending it for Philadelphia. Mauricio, who do you think maybe has a chance for it this year?
Kind of like a screwball over here. You know, Seattle Mariners do look like the team to beat. They just swept the Astros recently. They're popping off right now. You already know. I mean, Cal O'Reilly, runner-up for the MVP right now in the AL. I mean, this team, the pitching rotation right now is insane. I mean, rosters up and down. Like, you look at them, it's just they're really like on that track. And if they win this division, you know, it's gonna be able to help them push up, get them into the divisional round. You know, be able to move on in advance. I feel like the Seattle Mariners could make noise right now.
Yeah, it could certainly happen. 9-1 in their last 10 games, so hey, we'll have to watch out for Seattle. But now we're going to go into our final block and talk about some of our favorite jerseys around sports.
Hey Alex, this guy on the internet says he wants to give me money.
That sounds suspicious.
What do you mean?
Typically, strangers who promise you money on the internet have their own best interest in mind. They often use bounce checks, which will disappear shortly after depositing, but not before they've asked for some money in return.
So he doesn't really want to spoil me?
No.
Well, then what should I do?
The best way to handle it is to block and report the suspicious message, or even consult local law enforcement if you've already fallen victim.
So I guess we aren't going to Key West for spring break.
No.
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroid can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and is hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up.
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm your host, Steven Lucero, and joining me, Will Miller and Rohan Srinivasan. And guys, we're going to talk about some jerseys for this last block. The NFL recently released their rivalries concept jerseys. So for this, it's going to be over a 4-year period. 2 divisions are going to get the jerseys every year, so 8 teams so far. For this year, it was the AFC East and the NFC West. So guys, that's 8 jerseys so far, and I just want to look at some of our favorites, some of our least favorites. So Rohan, I'll start with you. Of the rivalries uniforms, which ones are you liking, which ones not so much?
The Bills.
All right.
Bills, in a specific reason, I like matching, as you can tell. Like white on white, black on black, it doesn't really matter to me as long as it's matching. So really like the Bills, and it also speaks to their weather up north because of the snow.
The Arctic Whites.
Yeah, right. So it kind of speaks to that. So Bills are my favorite, definitely.
Yeah, that one's really clean. I like the silver on the logo. That was really cool. It definitely speaks to everything they have going on over there. Will, I'll ask you, what was your favorite rivalries?
I really like the Cardinals.
Okay.
It had kind of like a white cream color, but it also had red splatter on there. I thought that it was a good way to change up their normal, white on red color scheme and just add like a little bit of flavor. And I like the pants. It goes in sync with it. I think it's going to be really good for them on Sundays.
Yeah, it was certainly different. They had the speckles on the jerseys, something they had done with their helmets previously, those black ones with the red speckles.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It kind of the desert sand type of feel. I thought it was really cool. My favorite, though, is the Miami Dolphins jerseys.
Oh, Steven, what?
You didn't like them?
No, I thought those were sick as
I
well,
think they were amazing. I mean, kind of like that Miami Knights sort of combo. It just, I don't know. I'm a sucker for a black jersey. I mean, look at that. You can't tell me that's not clean. Jalen Phillips rocking that one right there. I don't know. I think the black helmet for them, it was something different. We've never seen Miami rocking the black.
It kind of looks like the Marlins jersey from the MLB.
I kind of thought that, a little bit similar, but the orange and the aqua, I don't know. It's clean to me. I've always liked the Dolphins jerseys, but I was definitely a big fan of that one. But you didn't like it, Rohan?
I thought I was going to put that as one of the worst, actually.
Oh, man.
For me, the worst is the Jets. I mean, I think me and Will agree on this both.
Yeah.
It's the Jets. I mean, whenever you look at it, it's just kind of plain to me. I don't mind the pants and everything, but it's kind of the same as last year. You got the Gotham City on it, but we have to also define rivalry as rivalry. Like Cowboys, Eagles, if they were to come out, that's a rivalry, not Bills, Dolphins, or Jets, or anything like that.
I mean, those are their division rivals.
But are they rivals when a team has won 20 straight? It's not a rivalry anymore.
You can make the argument. But on those, I like the Gotham City. I think that is a really tough name. The jersey itself, you know, I think the Jets have a thing of just trying to be minimal. Like, I mean, it's reminding me of Cracker Barrel or something, especially with their new logo. I don't like the minimalist design. That's my problem with them. I like the Gotham City. I like the concept. I just think you could have done a little more, left something to be desired.
Definitely could have enhanced it more. It's just a simple little lettering on the back of the neck, and you can't even see that when the games are on. So it's just, yeah, to your point, very minimalistic, Steven.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Will, what was your least favorite jersey?
I went with the Jets as well.
Oh, okay. There we go.
But to elaborate a little bit more on those Miami jerseys, just to point back, I thought that, you know, any of the Miami teams, whether it's MLB, NFL, NBA, they always tap into the kind of Vice South Beach colors, and I just think it's a really cool color scheme. It kind of throws back to that 80s nostalgia type of vibe. So I really do like what, you know, Miami is doing through all their major sports teams.
Yeah, I agree completely. The Heat bringing back their Miami Vice Blacks this season as their City Edition uniforms. I really like what Miami's been cooking up. The one I didn't love so much was the New England Patriots ones. It's not because I hated them. I just think that you could have done a lot more. I mean, you have it's solid. You have the navy blue, the helmets kind of matching. I just felt like it was all just. It left, again, something to be desired. I think that this, with a little more, could have been a really cool design. I just feel like, again, the minimalist thing just kind of held it back.
But it's nostalgic, though, if you look at it.
You think?
Yes, absolutely. You remember the Oilers? Whenever they used to
wear
something
like the Oilers?
Yes, a little
That's
bit.
a completely different kind of blue.
Yeah. But the blue over here, it's more nostalgic. It's not really a modern color.
Yeah.
But it does bring it back to like a 1970 type of throwback.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate them. I do like the fonting of the NE for New England on the side. But to your point, Steven, I don't think that it really deviated too much from a lot of jerseys that, like some of their alternative jerseys that we've seen them wear throughout the 2000s and 2010s, just didn't really add anything extra for me.
Yeah, I definitely see that. And guys, so the rivalries jerseys, this is the first kind of NFL jersey concept since the Color Rush about 10 years ago. So now we're going to see more teams get them every year. So I wanted to ask you, Rohan, what are you kind of hoping to see from the rest of these jerseys? And maybe when the Cowboys get theirs in a couple seasons, what would you like to see from that jersey?
For the Cowboys, I should recommend, if you look good, don't worry about that. Just play good for me. Honestly, 10 years ago, our Color Rush jerseys were really good. It was the white on white. Kind of bring something about that. On Thanksgiving, they wear the throwback helmet. I really like that. Something like that. Whenever you try to get too cute with it, it doesn't really look good. So just stick to the basics, honestly, for any jersey, and just play good.
Okay. Will, how are you feeling about a potential Cowboys design?
I think that the Cowboys, obviously, very traditionalist, staying to the navy blue and the white and the silver throughout their history. And, you know, for good reason. They are a storied franchise. But I do think that if they incorporated maybe a lighter or more like royal blue into one of their new uniforms, that could be something where they're not straying away too much from the traditional appeal, but you know they're adding a little bit more color into a jersey. So I would like to see that because a lot of their like alternate jerseys they release on their website to fans and stuff. They have that in a lot of the fan releases, but they just don't actually wear them. So yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe kind of a 90s style blue, a little bit different. For me, give me a black jersey. I don't know. Cool. Cowboys have never worn a black jersey in their history. Cowboys need something different, don't you guys think? I don't know. I think a black jersey would be really tough for them. But guys, I want to move on to baseball because we know that they've done their City Connects. Some teams are actually on their second edition of those. And the Texas Rangers in particular, they've had the Peagle jerseys. This is something that came out a few years back, and they just wore them for the final time last Friday. So this is the end of the Peagle. They'll be getting some brand new City editions next season. But I'll ask you, Rohan, what do you think of those? Are you going to miss them? I'm going to really miss them, man. They looked really good, the cream color and everything. But like I said, if you look good, that's one thing. Let's see how they played good. They went 500, 23 and 23, so I'll take it. But the cream color looked really good, man. I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, I got to see these in person for the first time last Friday. And they're stellar jerseys. If anything, maybe the blue could be a little bit lighter, but I really like the fonting of these city jersey designs, and the helmets are really good, and I really do want to see that sort of like newspaper old time baseball font, incorporated with more of the Texas Rangers gear and stuff, because I do think it's a really cool alternative logo.
Yeah, I was a fan of them. You know, I'm going to miss them. They definitely grew on me. I think they weren't my favorite at first, but I ended up really liking them. Give me a red jersey for the next one, though. I think that'd be
absolutely
really
gonna say that, Steven. Go back to like
that would look
2014, 2015, where you used to wear red jerseys for home games.
Yeah, to me, a modern take on those Reds, that'd be really cool. But I want to ask you guys, what are your best city connects around the league? You can start us off, Rohan.
Well, it's got to be the Texas Rangers for me.
Hey, there you go.
I mean, that's the only one that I really look at. For me, the Texas Rangers are my favorite team, so it really doesn't matter what they wear. I was going to pick them anyway.
All right, I got it. A little bit of a homer. Okay.
But like you said, Miami also had something different, like the football jersey, so I don't mind that as well. With baseball and football, it's very different. However, they look better in the MLB, in my opinion.
Yeah, the black and pink for the Marlins were really nice. Will, what was your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, to Rohan's point earlier, I really do like when teams can, especially in baseball where, you have full-on pants, got to be able to match the, top to the bottom. I thought the Atlanta Braves jerseys were really sweet. They obviously they got a little bit of a lighter blue than normal. It's not straying away too much from what the Braves are, but the all white with the blue on the sleeves at the bottom, I think it just blends really well together. It's a very, very solid uniform.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Braves, just very classic on their approach, and I really like those a lot. One that maybe not so classic, but I really liked it is the Padres uniforms. I feel like these, you either love them or you hate them. I think Tatis looks incredible in them. I think they're pretty cool, but I don't know. This is also the last season of those, so they'll be getting some new ones, but I was really a big fan of those. Rohan, which ones did you not like?
Oh, let's go with Houston, man. Like, what is that jersey? If you're going to pick a jersey, why is it so plain and bland? Like, can you pick something else? It just doesn't stand out to me. Maybe they should throw some trash can on it, but that's okay.
Hey, there you go. Maybe that's where it belongs. But Will, which one is yours?
I picked the Phillies.
Okay.
I thought that it kind of gave me vibes to what the Mavericks were trying to do with those like cartoon style jerseys a few years ago. Yes. Like I've kind of said a couple times here, I think in an alternative uniform, you want to be able to stylistically get a slightly bit of a different look, maybe incorporate one or two different new colors. But, when you have like a yellow trim with like navy, light blue kind of like fading in, there's just too much going on there for a franchise whose, pinstripes have been in the red and white for, as long as we can remember. So that's the reason that I really just didn't really like those.
Yeah, I definitely see you on those. I'm not a huge fan of the cartoony font either, and that's that's why I went with the Giants New City Connects. I think that it reminded me exactly of those Mavericks uniforms, their city editions from a few years ago. I'm like, I don't know, I just think that it looks cartoony. And I don't know, that's not exactly what I want to see in a baseball uniform. There it is.
I see that for sure.
I don't know. I like the black. Typically, I'm a sucker for a black jersey, but I don't know, just not quite my favorite style on that one.
I mean, the MLB is doing something good, right? Viewership is down. This is something that really helps them. The NBA, the NFL, while they have rivalry games, they don't have jerseys, so it's a good addition.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan, and I'm really glad the NFL is incorporating it too. So it'll be exciting to keep watching all these new uniforms, new jerseys on the field. But thank you all for watching us. Another great show. Make sure to check out nightly news going on tomorrow. Make sure to check out SportsZone later this week on Thursday. And give us a follow on our socials at NTTV Sports for some behind-the-scenes content and everything else you can imagine right there. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next week on SportsZone.